Hello and welcome back to RailRoads Online. So today we are standing on the edge of our problem we are gonna fix. We have decided it just is kind of too much work on the locomotives coming up that hill and around this turn. So one way or another something had to give a little bit, and we have decided to pull the track out and see if we can reduce the grade and keep it on the same run. So we are going to go with a 2% grade and see if we are able to get that to drop in all the way down. So we will be trying something different, but if we can drop the grade down 1 whole percent, we are thinking that will at least alleviate our slowing locomotives, or give the cook mogul a little better shot. We are crooked as all get out probably now, which we don't want to be. We used to have this was just perfectly straight, but we'll have to see. We did drop this into a wall before at some point. So if we call that there, how different is that running? Should be excuse me. Should be 1% lower on the grade. I'm pretty sure it was a 3% grade before, so we're thinking, as I was saying, that the 2% grade will allow us to carry a little more speed up the hill, and that's really all we're looking for. We don't necessarily need to step it up to giant loads or go back to using simple locomotives or anything, or smaller locomotives, not simple, but running a smaller locomotive or anything. We're just looking to keep the oil, mainly the oil train, just dumped way too much speed. But I would really like to just keep the cook moguls for out here and not have to change the locomotive. Um, so if we can wring a little more speed out of the track, I think we will attempt to do that rather than trying to, per se, step up any kind of locomotives or anything else. I would rather do it with the track if we can. Originally, we just kind of went in 3% to get the grade up as fast as possible. When we originally laid this track, we were in a bit of a rush to just really try to get to a decent payday of dropping in the oil. So that's kind of why these two tracks just ended up next to each other. Not pretty, and no improvements, nothing really thought through other than the easiest way we could find to get up that plateau. And so that's just kind of what we did. Definitely some better options out there, I think, and in the future we will look to improve the overall run. But for now, we would just like to get it working again in a little better fashion. So that's the idea. That side is just, it really either goes up empty and comes down full, so it doesn't affect much. This side, however, we do pull numerous loads up, and that oil is just, that's pretty high yet for just a slab of dirt. Nice. Not sure how much more of the track we're gonna have to pull out. Changing the grade definitely obviously runs the track out a lot longer. So It's just about how long, or if it's too long to actually fit in here before we have the switch. If we hit the switch and we haven't gotten this thing down, then, well, then we got a problem. But I think we're looking okay. So we shall see. And we only have another couple of feet to come down. Oh! Well, we want to go up there. And we're gonna go up there. It should get us up there. Good enough. Bingo. Alright, we'll take that out because we surely will forget it there, and that looks bad. Nice. 2% down. Oh, tell me we're getting down to the ground. We're getting pretty close. We're still up a little higher than I would like to just slap dirt in, though, to be honest. So we'll do another one of these, which the bridge, obviously, it just showed there. Lining up the bricks is sometimes easier than others, but if you don't line those up, it looks pretty terrible. So I try to do my best with those. And then from here, I think we can just drop that down. Which I would rather not overlay the dirt a heck of a lot. I'd rather know that I'm getting it deleted out of there clean. I think it just kind of becomes a hassle when you start stacking dirt on top of dirt on top of dirt. I'm not sure. I'm sure the game has to register every single all the dirt and everything else that you lay down. So in my head, I don't know. It's just harder maybe for the game to work out everything you got going on when you have tons of stuff piled on top of each other. Could be totally wrong, but that's my line of thinking and why I try to avoid it. Alright. Looks like we're pretty good. I can't even see. Alright. I can't see a break in the dirt, so that might mean we're just good to lay track. Guess we'll find out here in a second. Probably far better ways to lay the track than I managed to do, but try to keep it workable and usable. I was gonna say, is that thing just gonna keep running out? Do we get the spline update? I didn't know about it. That'd be groovy. I think we're still working with the same old track, so I don't think I missed anything. And then we will switch to bridge work. Nope. Finish out that one, then switch to bridge work. We're gonna have to unlock it because we're gonna have a slight turn. Ooh, that got jank. Ooh. Weeble wobble. Weeble wobbles all fall down, so we probably don't want to do too much of that on the way up the bridge. Whoop. We are off center though. But We know we have a little bit of bend in the bridge now too, which didn't necessarily help the situation too much. But let's see what we end up with. Like we've said before, we try to stick it in there and run it. If something doesn't work, then I guess we try to fix what's broken. We don't shoot for perfection or anticipate getting to it either, so we just kind of keep it real. Alrighty, let's turn around and head on over and see if we can at least give it a good run. Let's see what happens. Hopefully we have an improvement and we're just a little faster. Probably not as straight, but it's less of an angle, and from what my understanding is now, after having some tips thrown in my direction, is that even what you would think is maybe not a super huge, change in grade can actually make a huge difference. So a 1% grade change should drop the pull quite significantly for the train from my new understanding. So I figured this was worth throwing in a shot. I didn't think 2% was going to run it out too long, and it didn't. It fit in there. So we were good with that. Now we'll just have to kind of see the results. And hopefully we gain a little bit of speed. If nothing else, I don't think we heard anything other than it does maybe look as good, but then, it didn't look great before either. So our beautification acts have not kicked in. It's not like we've gone back to try to make everything look particularly pretty or anything like that at this time. So we're still on our rough end and didn't mind giving this a shot. We may have some brakes on stuff here. Yeah, sure do. How about back here? Alright, we should be good to go. Not really letting the fire or the pressure build up proper, but this should be all we got to do is get to the hill, and from there, good old gravity's on our side, and the invention of the wheel. So between the wheel and gravity, we should just kind of mosey along here once we get going. So we're just kicking her into gear and see what we can get. Sounds weird in there. I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but that sounds a little weird today. But here we go. Nice slow start. Ring the bell. Coming out of the yard. Hopefully the bell shuts off sometime soon now. From one cook to another. We are moving down the rails. But big fan of the Cook Mogul. I like the Eureka a lot too. The Eureka's a great looking locomotive. It's just not a hefty puller. So if you have a hill in your way, Eureka probably going to let you down. When it comes to just hauling on flat ground, I have seen some pretty amazing things with Eureka. So, not a bad locomotive in the slightest sense of the word, just not a hill climber. And it is a really good looking locomotive. But then we were fortunate with the Eureka too that apparently that one looks just like it that is out in Nevada. Apparently in and around Las Vegas. I couldn't be specific about that, but I had done a little bit of research and found out that there is one of those Baldwins still left out in the Nevada area, and looks just about exactly like the one we have in the game. Great looking locomotive. Is absolutely one of the best looking locomotives in the game. Though all of the locomotives have great modeling in the game, that's for sure. I wouldn't say anything bad about the appearance of any of the locomotives because I am thoroughly impressed with the modeling job on every single one of them. Let alone to see what they come up with in the future. So, well, it is so close to a collision. It is not even fine. You could not get close. That's just so dangerous. I don't know that there's much we could ever really do to extend what's in there either. We could move the loop over a little bit in here, but I don't think I'd ever do that. That train was never intended to be parked there. It just got left there, and I went on foot over to the oil field one day, which was silly because I should have just driven it out there. There's plenty of place to park it out there, and it should be parked out there if we're on this end of the map. And then the Heisler is really kind of our take us from one place to another. We run a bunch of trains on this end of the railroad, and we run a bunch of trains on the other end of the railroad, but the Heisler is kind of was the idea that the Heisler was the go-between until we can get a few more locomotives so we don't have to go between, which will be nice. To get a wood locomotive for every location was our original plan, and we probably will go back to that plan sooner than later. We're just hoping for some new tech tree locomotives so we weren't repeating locomotives, so we kind of stopped on that, and then we were running out of money getting to the end, so we I don't mean getting to the end, I guess getting to the last industry, and so we kind of just try to really start making things work for more than one thing. Which paid off. I mean, now we have some real actual potential to make money in a hurry, and that's always a plus. Just much easier if we flip this thing right here and running around the horn. We really have to rework some of these ideas in our head and simplify this stuff, because we could get rid of half of these switches. I mean, we put in dual track here, so we didn't have to do switches, and then we decided to tie the two tracks together. And originally we had turnarounds on both ends of everything, and we just didn't like how that worked out, so then we've made adjustments but really haven't finalized anything in here. There's still some places that just kind of up for debate as to how we really want to run them in the long run. And so this is one of them. When some brilliant idea pops into my head about doing something different over here, I'm thinking about reworking this rail instead of looping back, or at least just looping back. See, why is that? We came out here and got rid of that. Why is that there? What? Not exactly sure. I was really pretty certain that we had reattached that car. I know we got kicked out here, but I really was certain that we had reattached that car to the steel. If not, we really may just sacrifice that car to a learning process and delete it, because we really don't need it. Steel out here, I don't know. Well, maybe if we're gonna step that up to 6 cars, but then I don't know, because steel is not light, and so running around those steel pipe cars, I don't know that we are ever gonna step the size of that train up too much. It's just kind of too much work for a Cook Mogul. And again, we originally wanted the Cook Moguls really to be our oil field trains out here to facilitate everything that the oil field to the refinery needed. The black look and the fact that the trains are all a little bit smaller was going to be our reasoning behind the Cook Moguls out here, and I'm not really all that interested in changing that idea yet, though we could have probably picked maybe a better locomotive. But at a certain point, it's all about what's fun and what looks good, and I really think the Cook Mogul does. So there you go. So I will get these loaded up, and then I will be right back with you. Alright, so there we are. The train is loaded. That didn't go too bad. Anyway, full disclosure, we did probably lose 1 or 2 oil on the last car. Looked like it was lined up, but it wasn't. Although, all we could say, you know, but you're never gonna load, you know, as many cars full of oil as we already have without spilling a few drops. Though we do try to limit it. Alright, should be good to go. Heavy load now. And hopefully we can pick up a little bit of speed and have no issues bringing this one up to the refinery. Oh, there's our big bell. Oh, look at the bell's red inside. Who knew that? Whoa. Guess I've never stood that close to the bell going on. Yeah. A little bit of a lean out the old window there. Still got our cars back there. Truck we ran and switched. So we should be good to go now all the way back up. Unless some unforeseen something happened. But I would think from here we are on on the way, all the way clear to go. Taking in the sights of the mountain and the sounds of the locomotive. There's a bell ringer thingy out there. What is that? Oh, that's what the string's attached to. You just couldn't see it from the other side. That makes sense. Of course, probably not a string. Let's call that a rope. Big technology back in the day. Eureka! Alright. Close-ups of the old Cook Mogul. Looking good. It is just a wonderful job on this one. Wheel blur. Maybe that becomes a fix in the future. Not too sure about that one. But you don't really notice it, to be honest, that much unless you get, you're crazy looking for it. Then I think you can find the wheel blur at the moment of impact with the spline, but you don't see it much. So I've never had a problem with that anyway. I know some people have pointed that out, but I guess I don't really find it to be that big of a distraction. Alright, here goes go time. So we will slap everything up to full on go. And hopefully we don't lose too much speed this time. Oh yeah, see, that already seems to be. I guess it doesn't seem to be doing a heck of a lot better, actually. I mean, it's going, but it's also still bogging down. Hopefully it doesn't really get any slower than that, and then at least it's an improvement. But if we really start slowing down anymore, then we're in the same boat we were before. And Lord knows we are now on the wood, which generally causes us to slow down. But we're holding some more speed, and with this speed, we're happy. That means the improvement is a win if we can hold this speed. The old stuff, we were literally crawling around this corner. So this speed is okay. I'm happy with that. That's a win as long as we make it around the curve here. And I'd have a hard time believing it wouldn't. We didn't change anything there. And we don't mind slowing down right as we hit the refinery. I mean, that'll keep us from always just barreling through the refinery. And it makes it easier to stop the train anyway. So that part, I think, will keep. See, like right there, she was just going to start picking up speed again, and that's perfect as far as I'm concerned at the dock. That gives us a minute to go ahead and slow it down. Didn't get her stopped in time, so we will have to back it up just a smidge. But that was not altogether a bad run. Definitely happier with that than what we had going on. So, again, there we made all of a 1% change on the track. And for that 1%, we definitely gained the little bit of speed that we were looking for. So we're going to call that one a win. Hopefully these are hitting the dock. Yes, we're getting paid. We will drop that one, and we will drop that one, and then we will go ahead and call it an episode. I obviously will pull those forward, get them unloaded, and actually get some oil in the drum. Hopefully we will be filling things up and making some more money. Alright, thanks for tuning in. Remember, if you can, like, share, subscribe. Subscriptions are free, but they sure do help the channel. Y'all have yourselves a great day.